So before I start this, I need you to understand something. I voted for Biden back in 2020. I didn't vote in 2016, voted for Obama in 2012 when I turned 18. So I've been voting Democrat or choosing not to take part for my entire life. Back in 2016, I was entertained by Trump, but I never really looked at him as like a viable option. And whenever he said something smart, it kind of caught you off guard. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Did he just say something that's like, okay? After having basically just been bullshitted for the past 4 years for my guy, you know, Biden, that dude, he is going to leave a legacy behind of just complete and utter garbage. I can say that. I can say that it was a mistake to vote for him. Because we were bamboozled, you know, we had that moral high ground, grandstanding thing. Oh, Trump is literally Hitler. He's going to destroy the world. He's coming for you and everybody you love. Vote Democrats or it's all is, you know what? It's all bullshit, man. They say Trump is Hitler. Trump is nothing like fucking Hitler, dude. Trump voters are not Nazis. Do they want people who shouldn't be here not to be here? Yeah. Those people shouldn't have been here in the first place. You can't just import a bunch of people to devalue the labor force just to compete with Chinese slave labor. You don't get to fucking do all that and then tell us that we're the Nazis for telling you out, like calling you out on your bullshit. You know what this is? Trump isn't Hitler. Trump is way more like Abraham Lincoln than anybody realizes. You might be saying, oh, what? That's bullshit. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. The conservatives are a bunch of racists. They would never free the slaves. Let me ask you a question. Who wants the slaves right now? Who wants them? All of me and my people, we're all willing to pay a little bit more for this garbage consumer stuff that we always buy. You know, the cheap. I don't give a fuck if Legos increase because the tariffs on China are going crazy. Oh, but washing machines are going to get really expensive again. You can wash clothes by hand, dude. It's good for the fucking environment. I thought you loved the environment. Basically everything in Walmart, I don't give a fuck about it. Every time I walk into a department store, I cannot stop and think about just how disgusting this is. And I hate that I have to go there to buy some groceries. The idea that there's just all this stuff that will sit there and never get consumed and it will all end up in the garbage as it goes out of season. Products don't stay. Just because they have a product doesn't mean it's going to sell. They are filling these places up across the entire United States with just endless garbage. So people have something to go and spend their money on. And those people who just want to spend their money on this garbage will bitch and fucking moan when they don't have brown people or fucking Asians, child slave labor, immigrant slave labor, whatever fucking have you. They will complain every step of the way if you try to take that slave labor away from them. So tell me, what is Trump trying to do? He's trying to take your fucking slaves. That's what you need to understand. You do not have the moral high ground. And I'm tired every time you try to have a conversation. Well, Trump is literally Hitler. Shut the fuck up, you Confederate bastards. That's what you people are. I'm going to start calling you all the Confederacy because you want it. That's not my president. What? Yes, what, man? That is your fucking president. Just like the Union. Abraham Lincoln is your president. Trump is your president. He's going to get rid of the slaves. He's stopping slavery. He's going to make everybody compete on a fair marketplace. And this will be better for the Chinese too. This will be better for everybody across the world. You slow down consumerism. You allow resources to consolidate back into the nations that are producing these resources. And you reestablish the global trade networks under a more fair and reasonable price basis. That'll never happen. It'll never get done. Well, guess what? Just because you don't think it'll never get done doesn't mean we're not going to fucking try. I know that you guys desperately want to recreate the Weimar period in Germany. You want to recreate it here. You want hyperinflation. You just want to keep borrowing money until it is impossible. Because let me tell you what's going to happen in 15 years. China and India, those places aren't going to stay poor forever. China is already not staying poor. They're going to start developing strong middle classes. All of those middle class people are going to want the same consumer rights that we have. They're going to transition away from a production labor force and into a service labor force, just like we have here. They're going to make that transition while also having the means of production. They will not buy anything from us because they can make it in-house. In 15 years, 20 years, nothing is left in the United States. This idea that everybody else is our friend and we got to give up something so they can have something, it is not how this works. The EU is our allies. Maybe they should be fucking acting like it. Russia was on their doorstep and they never showed up. Now they're going to talk about how they're spending all this money on their military. It's like, oh yeah, look at that, we're increasing our spending. Yeah, because Trump is coming through reaming you in the ass. You guys couldn't even stop buying Russian gas. Let's look up that fact right now. Let's look up how many. So let's see. So the chart that I was looking at, and I'll pull it up here, basically says that before the invasion of Ukraine, the EU was importing half of its natural gas from Russia. And that's like half of its imports, not importing half of its total volume, but half of what it imported came from Russia. You got to remember, Russia was planning for these sanctions. Okay, they knew they were going to have these sanctions hit against them. And they knew they were going to take an economic hit. The money that the EU was funneling into Russia directly funded the invasion of Ukraine. And to the EU's credit, sure, now they've increased military spending. Now they've cut off all that, not all that, they've cut off about 10% of their imports from Russia. So, all said and done, million lives worth what, 10%? Yeah. They really got a fucking leg to stand on, don't they? But I digress. I think it's really important that people understand that there's no friends on the global market. There are business partners, and business partners are always going to do what's best for them. So this idea that we have immutable friendships with all these places across the world while they're slowly nickel and diming us behind our backs with dog shit trade deals. Every other country can have tariffs on us, but we can't have tariffs on them. We should be allowing Mexico to dump all their criminals and all the people that they can't afford to take care of, let them come up to the United States because that offers, really good, cheap labor. And Americans aren't having kids anyway, so might as well just replace them, especially with people who don't really care about the Constitution and won't defend their rights being taken away. I will not stand for this moral grandstanding of the left anymore. Trump is literally Hitler. Well, guess what? Hitler showed up. You couldn't even get out to vote. You're useless. Step aside and let adults handle the situation that you people have fucked up. So in the fight that you guys have claimed is the end of democracy, you people never showed up at all. The end of democracy is when people don't vote. The end of democracy isn't when people vote for the other guy. Stop it. And I personally hope the Democrats never see a political office again after what they pulled. You people manufacture crisis. You sell the solution as infinite debt. We're done with it. We're done with you. America is done with you. You want to start another civil war? Go ahead. Just like the Confederacy did before you, you will fight for your right to have slaves.